Hey everyone, I'm Braslow and welcome to my Sith Lord Duelist build. Now, before we start, keep in mind that this is mostly a cosplay build than anything else, but surprisingly enough can still be very powerful with the right gear. For this build, we'll be utilizing the Milady sword from the DLC and infusing it with Bloodflame to give it that fancy red lightsaber look. The stylish flow of the moveset in both one-handed as well as two-handed versions is gonna serve perfectly to make us look more like Count Dooku while also dealing good damage. To add even more style to it, but also damage, we're also gonna use the Wing Stance Ash of War for that high damage R2 attack that absolutely melts bosses' health bars and their stance. The Milady itself is equipped with the Wing Stance Ash of War with a quality infusion in order to get as much benefit from our stats as possible while still letting us apply the Bloodflame Blade, or any armament in fact, for those extra style points and elemental or status effect damage. The good thing about this sword is that it's mostly very versatile, scaling good with almost anything. So even if you don't want to max both strength and dex, you could run it dex arcane, infuse it with keen and still use it with Bloodflame, or if you want to go even further with bleed damage, go full blood infusion with seppuku, which will easily give you over 100 bleed buildup while buffed and still give you a semi-convincing lightsaber look. So there's definitely a lot of choice in regards to using this weapon. Otherwise, I'm using Finger Seal for my buffs. Here are my stats. As you can see, I'm a level 126 with 49 vigor, 50 strength, 50 dexterity, and 15 faith, just enough to be able to use Bloodflame armament as well as Flame Grant Me strength for even more physical damage on top. Depending on your needs, you can invest more early points into vigor as you level, but strength, dex, and a minimum of 13 faith at least for Bloodflame Blade are a necessity if you want this cosplay build to be complete. Otherwise, I'd recommend leveling both quality stats further or vigor if you want more survivability, especially in the DLC. For my talismans, I'm using the Winged Sword Insignia, which you can get as early as Liurnia and can eventually be upgraded, Millicent's Prosthesis, the two-handed sword talisman from the DLC, and the Erdtree's Favor +1 for that extra health and stamina increase. The Insignia and Millicent's Prosthesis are perfect for this sword, as it's got quite fast combos and follow-up attacks. The reason I'm using the two-handed sword talisman is to boost my damage even further when two-handing the sword for extra damage, as I find the two-handed combos to be a little better, but feel free to swap it out for whatever fits your needs. And if you want to cosplay Count Dooku a bit more accurate, I guess you would probably want to one-hand instead. Since we're using the Bloodflame Blade, you could use the Fire Scorpion Talisman for extra fire damage, but keep in mind that you will end up taking more damage, which is especially risky in the DLC. If you want to focus more on the Ash of War R2 attacks, which probably deal the most damage out of this build, I'd recommend the Rolana Talisman if you have enough time to stand still for a while, and also the Shard of Alexander to boost the attack of your skills by an extra 15%. So there's definitely a way to even more improvement if you want to go the extra mile. For the cosplay, the only important part is the Sith robes, for which I found the altered Albreich's robe to be the best choice in terms of style. And that is essentially everything you need to get started. In case you need to see the location of either Milady or the Winged Stance Ash of War, I will leave you a path to both at the end of the video. Thanks for watching.